All right, everyone. Congratulations. You made it. We made it. This is officially episode 50 of I'll Call You Right Back podcast. I'm very excited about the progress that has been made in the last year. I appreciate all the support that everyone has been giving me, all the rates, all the reviews, everything like that. And I'm thankful for it, you know. Holidays, around the holidays, you're supposed to tell what you're thankful for. I'm thankful for, you know, like my wife, my podcast, my family. It was a good holiday season. I hope everyone had a good time. You know, I'm sure you had to deal with the same shit that every other family has to deal with. I'm sure that there's a few people in your family that you're not particular of or you don't get along with or anything like that. And around holidays, you got to push that shit to the side and, you know, put on a cheery face. But Christmas was awesome. I got all kinds of good shit. You know, being an adult is interesting because back in the day, I remember, you know, literally not being able to fall asleep the night of Christmas. Like you were just so fucking amped up that you could not sleep because you were going to wake up and get gifts, you know? So it's like I would wake up and, you know, everything was like super all about like, you know, it was materialistic. Obviously, if you're a young kid, you want fucking mountains of toys. Luckily, my parents were always cool and got me and my brother pretty much whatever we wanted. But now whenever you're an adult, everything's skewed. It's very bizarre. And, I mean, I don't dislike it. I'm sure it's better for everyone. I'm just happy with, like, you know, clothes and socks and, you know, dumb shit. I got a bunch of random shit this year, and I'm pumped about it all. I got a pressure washer. You know, that's some adult shit. You know, I got socks, undershirts, underwear. Like, that's all adult shit. And I was pumped about it. And it's pretty weird, but we're here, though. Episode 50. This is a gift from me to you. This is the only gift that I could give everyone at one time. A free podcast week after week. And it even helps out that they're all pretty good, you know? Not to toot my own horn, but they're pretty fucking good, the podcasts. I know they are, and I know you know that they are if you're listening. But, yeah, so I just want to say thanks. You know, it's a big deal for me. I'm excited about it. 50 is just, you know, just got to keep pumping out more and get to 100, you know? You got to keep going with it. But I have a special, this is a special podcast, you know, special podcast. So I figure there were special circumstances that needed to be taken for episode 50. So we have our first repeating guest besides my wife. His name is Zach Pishney, and he was episode number 1 of I'll Call You Right Back. All them days ago, 365 days ago. And I was trash at first. I was super trash at interviewing, and I didn't know what I wanted this podcast to be, or I just didn't have a voice. People find their voice over time. And I wanted to give Zach another opportunity to come on here. And actually, I wanted to give myself another opportunity, not Zach. Zach did great both times, but I wanted to give myself another opportunity to redeem myself with this interview because, you know, Zach's a great friend of mine, and he's doing some really awesome shit. And I was just terrible in the beginning. I would ask him a question. I would let him answer. I would say, that's what's up. And then I would move to the next question. So I just wasn't happy with it. And I figured he was my first episode, and episode 50 is a big deal. So I'm going to bring him back for that. And we're kind of just going to, you know, shoot the shit. You know, we talk about all kinds of shit. We talk about the podcast a little bit. We talk about what he's been doing in the past year. For people that don't know, Zach plays in a band called Like Moths to Flames. They are, you know, like a metal band, and they're huge. You know, they're touring all over the world. And they're pretty fucking awesome. We just went to go see him. He had his live headlining show in the Rex Theater in Pittsburgh on December 12th. And me and the rest of our friends just go out there and, you know, you got to support your dude, and he killed it. So Awesome podcast. Thanks again for listening. Please take a second right now to rate and review the podcast. It's just going to keep this machine oiled and moving properly. But yeah, without further ado, episode 50, Big 50 of I'll Call You Right Back podcast with Zach Pishney.
I gotta use the telephone.
Hello?
Telephone.
I'll call you right back. Call you right back.
Telephone.
I'll Call You Right Back podcast. I haven't bought a lot of band clothes in a long time. I honestly just don't go to shows anymore, really. I think your show was probably the first one I've been to, and actual music show.
Probably since our last show?
I think so. I think the only one that I've been to besides that was the Morning Light. You know who that is?
They were an old local band, right?
Old local band that kind of took off, and Punchline was headlining that night, but they had a 10-year anniversary, and Antoinette used to listen to all that shit heavy, and we went to see them, but they were so good. I love all that acoustic old shit.
Did they play a lot of acoustic stuff for that set?
Yeah, well, not acoustic stuff, but their music is always softer.
Yeah, it's
you know
on that
what I mean?
the brighter side of rock, kind of
Yeah, Mayday Parade
Yeah.
and shit like that, and those type of bands. But your show was probably the first heavy one that I've been to since your last show, and since the last show, I don't even know the last one. Probably Every Time I Die a few years before.
Damn, whenever they rolled through with Eternal Sleep, because they're from here and they did that tour with them.
Yeah, with Ben. Yeah, I think so. Though I think that was them. They were at Smalls, but yeah, it's pretty sick.
That's dope.
And how long have you guys been touring?
Shit. The band itself has been touring for 9 years.
No. I mean this tour you just got off.
This tour. Oh,
Yeah.
fuck. It was almost 6 weeks, 5.5. I'd say I was gone for 6 or 7 with practice and whatnot, but.
And you went all over the United States, or was it just East Coast, West Coast?
Full U.S. and then one day in Canada. We hit Toronto, so we were up finishing in the East Coast by that point. So we just popped in Toronto for a quick day, came back out, and yep.
Is Canada sick?
It depends. I like Toronto, but it's just the border sucks, man. The border is just a pain in the ass always, and
yeah, I bet.
So we always get stopped there for at least 45 minutes to an hour, or maybe longer sometimes. On an occasion, they'll tear apart our fucking van and trailer.
Really, they've done that?
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
The one time I was driving in, usually everyone's sleeping when we drive and shit, so it's just I'm awake and I think maybe someone else is in the passenger seat with me. We're going through and I see the cop, there's a cop running through the lanes of the traffic where everyone's kind of funneling in to pick their lane to go through and talk to the border guy.
Yeah.
There's a cop running through with a drug dog and stuff, just smelling cars and just he's running it through, weaving it through all the cars and lanes and stuff.
Really?
Just shit. We don't carry anything whenever we cross.
Yeah,
obviously we're smart.
That's
not
nuts
dumb.
though.
Yeah, but they made us pull over that day, and dude made us get out, had the dog sniff us personally and shit, and made us pull over, go inside. They tore apart our entire van and trailer. Yeah, it made us clean it back up afterwards, and just since I was the one driving in, after they left us just sit for an hour, dude pulled me out and he's like, "Well, we teared apart everything. The dog smelled stuff. We couldn't find anything, but we know you're smoking in there. So if you're smoking after a show, make sure you do it away from the van and trailer." I'm just buddy, you didn't find anything. We're good.
I know.
Yeah, and they just made us fucking clean it up. And it sucked, yeah. But
That's definitely a pain in the ass, I feel.
yeah, so Canada's not all bad. That just sucks getting in, but there's some cool spots for sure.
Yeah. Now, how many different stops did you have over this past tour?
I think it was 33 shows and then maybe 40 days. So we had a few off days.
Oh, that's cool then.
Yeah.
You got to just chill a little bit?
Yeah, we'd usually just get a hotel, post up, just have kind of a sense of a stable home per se for the day, and just like, all right, we'll set up base here. We can shower. We can use the bathroom. Go get some good food in the area, and then just do whatever we want to do. Like sometimes it lines up. Like we had an off day in Atlanta, so I got to hang out with Skaggs.
Yeah.
So he came and picked me up. We like went out, had some drinks, chilled, and made the best of that off day.
Yeah, for sure. Because 40 days, it's just nonstop. You guys are just playing and then driving and then playing and driving.
Yeah.
And you're just driving a van.
Yeah.
And now, like you guys, you said that they've been touring for like 9 years.
Yeah.
And you've been in the
longer
band.
than that with like other bands they've been in, but like with Like Moths, that band's been going for like 9 years pretty much.
It started in like 2010 or 2011 or 2009.
Yeah, I think Aaron actually mentioned it this past tour. I think he was saying that him and Chris started it, I think like December of 2009, and then like released their first demos in 2010 and shit.
That's wild.
First full length by 2011.
Jeez. That's definitely sick. And they're all, and like Columbus is where he's from, correct?
Yeah, Chris and Aaron are both from Columbus.
That's pretty wild. And now, I wanted to do this podcast because you were on episode 1, and this is going to be episode 50. So
yeah.
I wanted to like kind of. I felt that the first episode was just trash. Like I thought it was really bad on my end because like I didn't know what I was doing. I thought that I had to have like if you listen to the first episode that I did with Zach, I just had a bunch of questions written down on my laptop, and I would ask him a question. I would let him answer. I would say, "That's what's up," and then I would ask another question. You know what I mean? And I just thought that was terrible because like I went through and listened again before you played your show. So it's Christmas Eve right now, but your show, what was the date here?
12/12.
12/12. So you played a show at at the Rex.
Yeah, Rex Theater.
Now, I mean, it was nuts. Definitely was crazy. Me and Zach ended up having a really, really good a good view. We just ended up jumping in there and getting all the way to the right. Now, what's the difference for you to play like a hometown show rather than a show that's anywhere else?
I guess like for that hometown show specifically, but I guess that one was just like special because like I think that was like probably the most friends I've had pop into a show.
Oh yeah.
Plus I had like different family there. Like my mom usually rolls out to like a home show, but like I had other family members pop through, which was cool.
Was that your family that was standing in front of us?
My mom, and she had a bunch of her teacher friends with her, and then my uncle and aunt were like in the back somewhere. But
well, I heard that the people that we were standing in front of were all like middle-aged white women.
Oh yeah, that was
they were like Zach. I was like, wonder who that is.
Yeah, it was definitely my mom then. Yeah, that's where she was.
That's
she's
awesome,
closer
though.
to like my side of the stage. But yeah, dude, that hometown show was just badass. Like I had so many friends and family come through, and like on top of it, it was just like a good turnout. Like considering it was our headliner, like I was just a little nervous because like pre-sales were decent, but I don't know. We had a good walk up and everything because Every Time I Die actually played Mr. Small's sold out show that night.
Yeah.
So that was sick for them. That's like an 800 cap venue. So I was a little nervous, like considering, oh shit, like that many people are already going to be at their show. But
yeah, I mean, I didn't even think about like how that would. So you thought that took away from some of the?
I don't want to say took
shows?
away because there's definitely a different fan base. I'd say like I don't know. I don't think kids that would go to ETID would necessarily come to our show, but it's just like I think maybe at the end of the day, like since their show did sell out, maybe kids were more inclined to come to our show, or I don't know, maybe the people that came were going to come anyways.
Yeah, I guess so.
Guess you don't know.
And you now, and it was almost the end of the tour, right?
Yeah, there was like 4 shows after that one.
That's what's up. I mean, that's definitely see, you started again. Like, that's what's up.
Hey man, deja vu. History repeats. It's okay.
Yeah, I mean, there had to be 30 people from like, our high school and like friends and everything,
and like a bunch of old friends from like the music scene from here came through.
Yeah, and I mean, like, is that like do you feel like an extra high pressure if there's like a bunch of people there?
Yeah, not when I'm playing. I guess it's just throughout the day, just because I feel like I just get spread thin. I love seeing everyone that comes through and gets to hang out, but like it just sucks because I sometimes just feel like, oh, I have to go talk to this person. Oh, now I need to run and go talk to my family. Now I need to go take care of this band stuff. Now I have to go back here and meet so-and-so. And now whoever's coming through and I have to go meet them. So I just like, I feel like I promised too many people like hangout time, and then I kind of just like everyone just gets like a little piece. But it's cool though because everyone else gets to mingle and have fun.
Yeah, for
I still
sure.
have fun, but I just like I feel bad. It's just like, oh shit, I have to go.
Yeah, you have obligations. I
Yeah.
mean, you're about to play a fucking rock show.
Yeah.
Now, what's your obligations during the day of the event? Like, do you have to like when does sound check beforehand? Like, how early do you have to go in?
I mean, it all depends on the tour and like where you're placed, like slot wise. But we'll use this one for an example. So it was our headliner. So every day was pretty much scheduled at like we would show up at the venue around 2. We would start loading in. Probably be staged. Put our shit on the stage by like 3. Probably by 3:30, do our sound check or whatever. 3:30 only takes like 20 minutes, half hour, whatever. Get
do
all
a
our
sound
stuff
check?
down in. Yeah, we actually brought a sound guy out for this tour.
So like what is like what do you have to do for a sound check? You pretty much just like plug everything in and like try to and play some shit, making sure it sounds legit.
Yeah, it's just like every room's different, like on tour. So like every room's gonna have different acoustics and just like different shit's gonna hit different.
Yeah.
So like our sound guy has a board and like he brings his own mics because I'm not like too educated in that world, but like at a surface level he'll just like set up his shit to like his liking, so that way he knows how all his stuff's working, and then like he gets it dialed in at his board. We get our stuff set up, start playing, and then from there he can just like adjust what he needs to make it sound good in the room. We have monitors on stage that like will like on my side I have a monitor that's like blasting my guitar at me so I can hear it from my cab and when I walk to the front of the stage. So like he'll get those levels set up for me, and I can hear myself out of there. Like if I want kick drum from Greg, I could have him boost
Put
it up
that
from
up a little
there.
bit.
Yeah, so we just get all those tones and stuff dialed in, and then he can save his like presets on his board, and like depending on how big the stage is, like sometimes Greg can leave his kit up, or sometimes like I don't know, I'll just like move my pedal board to the back and all our shit just stays on stage, so that way we're good to go.
Yeah, and you can just grab it and pull it into place.
Yeah, and like other bands after that point can like load their stuff on and do their backline and everything.
Jeez,
Yeah.
that's pretty wild. So you do your sound check, and then you're not obligated to be back there until like a little bit before you guys go on.
Pretty much. This tour we did a VIP, so like we had some time in between like sound check and that, so like maybe about an hour. But we would do VIP from like 5 to 6.
What's that?
Well, we just offered like people that were gonna come to the show, if they wanted to like have like a VIP experience, they could buy an add-on for their ticket price, and like it included like a tour exclusive shirt, like a flag.
That's dope.
Like a signed poster, and it's like all kinds of goodies like that plus your ticket. And like we just did like a meet and greet type thing where like they came and they could come chill with us early, like hour before doors. They could like shoot the shit, ask us questions, and then we recently did like 3 acoustic songs we released just to accommodate our newest album.
Yeah.
We did some like reimagined versions of those songs. So we just did like a quick like 2 acoustic song set and just kind of get to chill.
That's
with
pretty
the,
sick, though,
chill with
like-
the fans and whatnot.
What's your experience of that? Because like, I mean, so how old are you right now?
25.
So you're 25. I mean, you've been hanging around us since you were a way little baby. And like, what's your experience like being involved in this meet and greet? Like, you have fans and shit that like come and actually like see you guys, and like, is that weird to you?
Kind of, but like I just roll with it. Like I don't
Yeah.
know, because to me it's like I don't view it like I don't view it like I'm some hot shot. I'm just like there chilling. Like the kids just like the band. It's not like they're there for me.
No,
or,
I
like,
get that.
or anything weird like that. Or sometimes people, I don't know, like I think people just like the band. A lot of people like what Chris has to say. So
Yeah.
like a lot of it's like about like people ask about like lyrical content or this or that, or just like want his perspective on stuff. But it's cool because like I don't know, it's just nice to talk to someone else who's just as passionate about the band as we are.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like,
I'm sure you meet all kinds of different wild people that
oh
are,
yeah,
like tattoos, everything,
Yeah.
clothes, everything.
it's pretty cool.
And it's-
There's a lot of cool people out there you meet through that stuff. So that's what's nice about it.
especially if you guys been around for like, almost a fucking decade.
Yeah.
And it's wild because like, you're definitely like, you're part of this like rock star like lifestyle a little bit for us, but it's wild because like you've just hung around us forever. So we see you and you're just up there, like me and Kriv were just sitting there like watching you play this guitar, and we're just like, damn, this is nuts. Like, this is insane. Like, cause we would go to all these shows when we were younger, and you would see like, you would see the band run out and like people were wearing Penguin jerseys and shit, and you're like, that would pump you up whenever it was like a band you wanted to see. And then we're up there and you walk out with a fucking Lemieux jersey on, and like that's so sick that like you get to experience that after like living like the childhood that we did, where we're just like always going to shows, always going to see bands that we liked, always like involved in that life.
Yeah,
it's definitely intense.
It's cool to hear about it from your perspective too, just because it's like, I don't know, I've always been playing guitar and playing shows, so it's like it's sick. Like sometimes I will step back and like, especially when I first joined this band, like I really would be like, damn, this is so fucking cool. Like, I love doing this. It's, this is crazy. But now it's like shit comes full circle. So it's like I've been playing shows since I was 13, 14 or whatever.
Yeah.
So it is funny that like it just comes back full circle, but it's on a bigger level.
Yeah, way bigger scale for sure.
It's pretty cool to like hear from your guys' perspective though. It's like, yo, like Fish is up on stage, like now he's rocking the Pens jersey, playing guitar,
dude,
like shredding, doing this. It's just like I don't always think of it from that level.
Well, that's like how I think of it, because like I think of you as just someone that a younger kid that I knew in high school that we were friends with, that would like hang around like the group that we were in. And like to just see you kind of manifest this whole way, like you were always like the one that was just like, you like were like the epitome of the phase of it all. You know what I mean? And it's just like, it's cool to see that it's like working out, and it's cool to see that like you get to tour around, and it's cool from my perspective because like I'm a friend and I could like pick your brain about this shit. Because like it's stuff that we always wondered about, I'm sure. It's like I talk to me and Dylan and everything. We'll go to live shows, and it's like you always want like a little bit of like insight of like what those people feel and what those people like experience.
Yeah, that is true, and like it's got to be cool because it's definitely different for every band. So like,
oh, I'm sure.
Like I know you guys go to some wild shows, so like I feel like some of the people he sees are like true rock stars. I'm sure they have a crazier, like...
Yeah, it's definitely crazier. Like, we've seen people, like... But it's like, I've seen people like, Jack White. Oh, yeah. And, like, I would say, like, Jack White is probably, like, the most iconic artist that I've probably seen live in my lifetime. And, like, I've been to, like, festivals and shit where... we saw, like, Eminem and, like, Run DMC... And, like, that kind of shit is sick. But, like, Jack White is, if you think about it, he's kind of like, someone like R. Hendrix. Like, like that fucking dude is doing, like, some different level type of shit in this day and age. So, I'm sure that, like, that whole world is a little bit, like, more intense. Like, it's obviously more intense, but it's cool to be able to see, like, the insider's point of view. Because it's, like, you got to find that happy medium from someone that's, like, what kind of genre would you say Moths is?
Metalcore, hard rock.
Yeah.
I don't know. See,
who fucking knows? Like I am the worst with the genres because like, there's a million different bands and they all kind of sound different, but
that's all subjective too, because it's like someone could say that's hardcore and someone could say no, that's like beat down, and it's like,
yeah, and you're just like, what's the difference?
It's splitting hairs sometimes. It's just like, who cares? It's music.
Yeah,
just fucking play it or like it.
Yeah, so like, I mean, but like those type of people can't go out in public without being noticed and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like that, I feel like that would suck. I feel like that would be the worst type of like life to live, where you can't even like go to the grocery store, but to be in like that sweet spot where it's like you have your niche of people that like the shit that you do. I feel like that's like a cool way to experience it. Like, it's not too overwhelming.
That actually is a great way to put it, because it's like I have two lives. I go out and I have my tour life where I get to go do all that shit, play a show for an hour or 40 minutes, however long our set is.
Yeah.
And, granted, that comes with, having to do the grunt work of loading our gear,
Oh,
and tearing
yeah.
shit down, but still, like, then I come home and I still have my quiet, private, peaceful, just like chill life with my dog, my friends, see my family.
Yeah.
So I just do what I want to do. I can go out and, I go out in public and do whatever. I like
Yeah,
to stay
yeah.
home a lot, but
I know, I'm a homebody for sure.
I've been feeling it more and more lately.
I mean, what's the point? Like, I like being comfortable at home. Like,
Everything I want, I can get at home.
yeah, that's exactly it. Now, you guys, Jesus, the transition that Moths has made in sounds from someone who's not, I have no musical like education whatsoever. So anytime I talk about stuff with someone who that's like their profession, it's hard for me to not sound like a fucking moron. So like Moths has changed their sound over the years.
Yeah.
Like it used to be fucking insane heavy where it was just like, you know what I'm talking about, like GNF and
yeah.
everything. And now it's a little bit different. Like it's more experimental, like softer sounding. Now where does that come into play? Just like the age and like the growth of the band in general?
I think a little bit of everything. The same, I don't know. I guess like that's a good question because a lot of people have asked like a similar version of that at like for a Q&A like during our VIP and stuff. So
Yeah.
like it actually did get us to all think on it and actually answer that. So I'd say like a couple of things come into play is like first off, heavy is always subjective. Like we do have those real heavy
That's true.
records.
Yeah,
so
that's
like
true.
we didn't, I don't know. I feel like with Dark Divine, we still have like our heavy moments. Like we still have like our Moths moments, but I think this was finally the record that everyone was wanting to try and do different stuff because this was their first time going to a new producer. I'll also mention this was my first time writing with the band.
Yeah.
And so it was also for Jeremy, our other guitar player, because he joined right at the start of the cycle for their third record. But he wasn't a part of that one.
Oh,
but
okay.
He just started at that point in time.
Yeah.
But so this is both our first times writing for Moths, so it kind of gave us a chance to bring our own shit to the table. But it was their first time working with a new producer, so that dude, his name is Eric. He's great with like active rock, like catchy choruses, and just like a little bit of pop and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
we wanted to try and capture some different stuff by working with him. Like, so we thought he'd be a great dude to help channel that kind of stuff to see if the band, what we could do in that area.
Yeah.
But yeah, some of it also is chalked up to just like a couple of the dudes in the band are getting older. Some of them have been doing it like the whole time, so they want to do something different for once. So
Yeah,
it was the record to finally do it.
And it's different because like you see, I mean, this is where I feel bad. Like I don't want to make comparisons that are like out of school, but like you hear people like Bring Me the Horizon. Okay, Bring Me the Horizon back then was like having like, it's completely night and day of their music.
Yeah.
From what it was before to Pray for Plagues to what it is now on like Throne and everything. And it's interesting because those, if you think about it, like the way I think about music is a nostalgic factor. Like I really don't listen to any like heavier music whatsoever. I don't listen to a lot of new music. The only things I really listen to are like podcasts, and like from whenever I would be working at Threads, I would hear like all the new hip hop shit.
Yeah.
So that was definitely in my world. But in high school and everything, our group of friends were submersed in this whole like metal, like heavy type shit. So we would always be exposed to new different type of music. At least I would. And that's the kind of shit we fell in love with, was like that era of music back then, fuck you, like, fuck this, all that shit.
All the angst.
Yeah, all the angst that's like built up and everything, and you love all that music for what it is with its nostalgic factor. But like now these bands are changing drastically, and it's wild to see like how different they are. Like Bring Me the Horizon is played at Penguin Games now,
Yeah.
and it's so weird to think about that. Like, have you guys had any negative feedback from people for like the sound that you guys are coming out with now?
I don't think anything too crazy. It's like, some people are always gonna be like, oh, where's the heavy? I want to hear GNF again. But it's like,
Yeah.
bro, like we want to, like, you have GNF, go listen to it. It's on the first record. Like,
Yeah.
But that's, I don't know, I guess a lot of people were on board with it. Like, we saw a lot of good comments. People, it's cool because, like, we have one song, Nowhere Left to Sink, where it's all singing. And that was, like, the first time the band has really done a song with, like, an all singing, you know, like
feel to it.
Yeah. So it's cool because when we play that live, like, that's the first time, like, when you play it live, you can actually hear the crowd singing it back to you because it's actual, like, it's not screaming, so you can actually hear people, like,
what people
they're
saying.
saying back to you, and it's like, oh, holy shit, people do like this. It's just cool. Like, that song to me just has like a more like early 2000s like emo screamo feel to it. It's just like, I loved growing up listening to that shit. I never really played in a band that played that kind of stuff, so it's cool to have that 3 minutes on stage to play that song and like kind of do that. So I don't care if Joe Schmo doesn't like it because it's not GNF heavy. Like, it has its heavy moments, but dude, there's other heavy songs on that record that people could jam if they wanted to.
Yeah.
But I think I'm starting to get off trail a little.
That's all right. What so like, I know that, like, what's the feeling of a band to play songs that came out years and years ago that were like hits? Like, for you guys, it's like You Won't Be Missed and everything like that. Like is that, I know that we were talking about that before, and it's like, do you guys get tired of playing that shit?
I mean, I do a little bit. I mean, I'm probably just a little bit detached from it just because I wasn't involved with like the making or the writing of that song. I'm just filling the shoes of playing it, which is cool. It's a sick song, but like, I get a little tired of it. But it always depends on, like, I think it's just because for me, it's like, I wish, I don't know, I could have more fun playing other songs that we have.
Yeah.
But the crowd is what makes that song sick. So like, I wouldn't want to get rid of it because that's where it gets made up for. Like, the fans make that song sick live because everyone, that's their hit. So
yeah. I mean,
hearing
like,
the crowd like sing that back or just like, you know, put their fists up whenever the chorus hits or this or that, that's what makes it cool. So it's like, all right, I don't mind playing this too much. Like, I can deal with it.
Yeah, because like, I always wondered. I read an article about Paramore the other day, and they said that they're gonna like retire Misery Business.
Damn,
they're just done playing it. And you know, you think about that, and it's like, if I went to go see people like Panic at the Disco, I would 100% want to hear I Write Sins and Not Tragedies. Like, those are the songs that you fall in love with that band on. So, you know, me being selfish, I feel like that I would absolutely like want to hear that. Like, any band is going to have their, like, you know, their fucking banger. Paramore's Misery Business and all that shit. So, but I mean, I could also understand that like people like the Rolling Stones and shit like that don't want to fucking play, you know, like, what do you think they feel like? They play their fucking their bangers just over and over, and those guys are like 80 years old.
I mean, I don't even know, dude. At this point, they probably have so many records to choose from. They probably, I don't know.
But
it's
like,
probably just a whole set of bangers for them.
Yeah, I guess it is. But you know, people are still gonna want to hear like.
Oh
you
yeah,
know,
there's always the oddball that has the oddball song they want to hear.
Yeah, like, I'm sure if people were going to see Aerosmith, they want to hear Dream On, and I mean, I wonder if Steven Tyler like gets fucking tired of playing that. Like, that might be the song that, like, you know, kicked them guys off and like spiraled them into that like professional type like making money world where they could do that. But God,
it depends on the day, because like I said, there's some days where I'm like, oh shit, the crowd's super into this, they're singing it back, they love this song, point. Cool. And then other days I'm just not feeling it, so I'm just like,
that's a good point to think about. But I guess it all depends on the vibe.
I don't know. Like, back to what you're saying about like bands retiring certain songs. It's just like, I don't know. Like, I can see it from both perspectives of like where the fan would maybe feel cheated if, you know, Panic didn't play I Write Sins, or Fall Out Boy didn't play Sugar We're Going Down.
Know,
like, that would suck for sure. But I also get it from like the artist's point of view, where it's like, yeah, we have 5 records after that record. There's a bunch of bangers still. Are you even listening?
Yeah.
But like, I think like people need to meet in the middle. So where it's like, I think like bands do have some core songs that they should always include in their set, but like, you can make it, like, if you're, you know, even if you're headlining or anything, like, you can make it to where you can still play primarily new stuff if you'd like, but still give the people what they want to hear with some old stuff.
Sprinkle in some of those. Those are like...
Like, dude, Bring Me's playing like maybe not Pray for Plagues, but they're playing some old
I
stuff
saw
on
that.
their like current tour they were just doing.
I saw that. It was like on for Oliver's birthday and shit too.
Yeah.
They started playing all that.
Medusa, I think they played.
And like that's like, I don't even know what, because like we seen all them back then. For people that don't know what we're talking about, Bring Me the Horizon is like, they were. I think that they were like the originator of the, fuck you, screaming heavy, like for me at least.
They're definitely one of the pioneers in that, like for popping it off, I'd say.
Yeah, like that was like, that whole era of Bring Me the Horizon music and Pray for Plagues was just like, it just reminds me of MySpace and like,
Was that like 2007 that record came out?
Yeah, it either had to be 2007 or 2006. Like it had to be.
Yeah, I think Suicide Season was 2008.
Yeah, Suicide Season was 2008 because that was whenever I went to Slippery Rock because music just makes you think of a time.
Yeah, it's
automatically
a time portal.
Yeah, it automatically takes you back to like, for me it takes me back to the car I listened to it in. Like I remember I was in my Tiburon ripping gears in that shitty ass
Dude,
car.
the Tiburon was sick.
Fuck that car. I couldn't even fit in it. But it's like I don't know. It's cool to see the progression of it, and I think that's, you were right. People have to have like an understanding where they could just meet in the middle.
Yeah.
Because you gotta let the artists like experiment and grow with it. Because like, how old is Chris now?
28 or 29.
Oh really? I
think
he was
29.
Yeah. So like, if he started this when he was 20, it's fucking nuts because 5 years ago we were completely different human beings.
Oh yeah.
So in 10 years, like Oliver Sykes doing that music in 2006 to what it is now. I mean, there's so many people that hate on Bring Me the Horizon now, like that loved them back then because they lost all their fucking teeth, I guess. But that's where you have to just rely on like being a fan of it, I feel.
Yeah. I guess that sometimes is where like the line is drawn if you're actually a fan of the band or not. Like.
Yeah.
I guess you can be fans of records, but maybe not necessarily like the band, the entity itself.
Yeah.
I guess, but I don't know. I guess at the end of the day, you have to respect bands for doing what they do if they want to, but also like, who's to say they might not who's to say they couldn't put out another heavy song one day?
Yeah, maybe they're
they
just
can
like
do whatever they want.
Maybe they're giving everyone a
like,
taste. Maybe they're just like trying to see if everyone still wants to hear that shit.
Yeah.
What if they just come out with another album that's just like, he got on ketamine again and he's just all fucked up? It's just all remixes of Pray for Plagues and shit.
Let's not hope for that. Let's just hope for some fresh music.
Yeah, fresh music. I just remember Warped Tour, like being up there watching Bring Me the Horizon and him just like spitting on a girl and the girl like loving it, like fuck yeah,
just
like,
real degrading, like yeah, daddy.
Yeah, real degrading. And you're just like Jesus, and like you think of it back then, whenever we were in high school and shit, and it's like we lived for it, and now you're just like Jesus, like I don't know if I would want my daughter listening to this.
Nah, definitely not.
But so have you fucked up on stage?
Oh yeah, plenty of times. Or like my gear has malfunctioned or something, and it's just like, what do I do?
Yeah, so like the reason I asked this is whenever we were playing, it seemed like in the beginning, whenever we were first starting it, you were like a little bit frantic, trying to like make sure shit was all right.
Yeah, I heard I had some like static coming through the front of my monitor, and I'm not sure if it was because of some wiring with my pedal board or if just like one of the cables in the monitor was loose. Because I'm not sure if like I asked people and like some people were like, oh, I heard a little bit of static, but then people were like, oh no, I don't. But like
maybe I was just into it. Maybe I just don't have that part of my ear to hear.
I honestly think there might have been just like a little bit of a loose cable on some part of my board that just like whenever like the right like vibration hit or the right like just like creak in the stage happened, like I think it just like fucked it up a little bit, and I just hear static, and it would just trip me out because I have earplugs in, but I can hear my cab, I can hear my monitor, plus everything else coming through. I'm just like, where is this static coming from? I swear, like, this is coming through my monitor. So I'm just like putting my ear close to it so I can try and like
hear it a little bit,
because it just like I don't know, it just sounds trashy whenever like a song ends and you just hear like
for sure,
just like no, like it's supposed to be clean, cut, quiet, like. I don't know.
Sharp sounding.
Yeah, exactly. So it just like makes me feel like a trash guitarist whenever I have like random sounds like that. So I was just like, I was a little frantic trying to like get it figured out, but I think about like 4 songs in that it stopped.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I honestly didn't hear it at all, but like what's like so what plays through your earplugs?
Pardon me?
Like, what plays through them? Does anything? Do you?
No. I just have straight up earplugs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I didn't know if they were like the monitor type earplugs.
No, Greg has those kind of earplugs because he plays to a click track and everything.
Oh, okay,
So,
okay.
Yeah, he has those. Chris has those.
Now, is that
in-ears.
usually what it does? Is it plays like a click track?
For Greg? Yeah, he has it split. So like one ear is playing click and another ear is playing like whatever like else he wants to hear. I think he can get his like kick drum in there. I think he'll have some of like our tracks in there.
I always wondered why.
Yeah.
What was playing in there whenever you'd see like big artists like have them in their ears.
Yeah.
Now, what's it like for you to adapt at that moment? Like if you're on stage and like some shit fucks up, like you can't just be like, "Oh, hold up, everyone. Sorry about this. A couple minutes." Like, what is the like? You have to rely on like your skills to be able to just be like.
I guess just knowing your shit. It's all experience too. I'd say. I don't know, because like whenever I first started touring with them, like if I had an issue, it took me a lot longer to figure it out because I'm not a gearhead. I had never really had that many issues playing in local bands because I never used a nice pedal board. I never had like too crazy a gear like that. I just kept it simple because I didn't really know better back then.
Yeah.
But now I think it's just with experience and trial and error, like having that stuff happen, it's just like, oh shit, just like tests you right then and there. Like, what do I do? Like, I think when I first started, I was pretty heavily relying on Aaron, our bass player, to like help me because he's pretty good with gear and he's usually accessible to be like, hey, come here, help me real quick.
He's a longer hair dude?
Yeah, taller dude, longer hair. Yeah. But yeah, like him and Jeremy both have helped me like get more knowledge on gear itself and like how my stuff runs and have helped me set up my board to like make it idiot proof. And they're like, all right, this goes here, this is how this works, this is why, blah, blah, blah. And so I think now at this point with having like moments like that happen throughout at least once a tour, it happens.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because each tour it's less significant and I'm able to like fix it so much faster. But I think knowing my gear and how they plug it in or like how to undo one piece of the puzzle and still make the chain work, I think that's what makes troubleshooting a lot easier because it's just like, all right, there's like different signs you can look at. You can be like, all right, is anything on my pedal board out? Is something not lit? Like, is this pedal unplugged? Is this one off? Or like
that makes sense. It would come from experience.
Yeah, it's kind of just like go down the list of like what could be wrong first, and just like try and backtrack it to where it's going to take you. Like,
well, you could tell that like at first I just was like, oh man, I wonder if like something's wrong, but immediately it was almost seems like seamless. Like I heard nothing. As far as like, it didn't seem like that there was any like crazy break-in time. So like, you seem to have like a good system down of it. Like you're good enough to be able to like figure it out while you're, you guys didn't stop at all. So that's what's so like weird to me because like if something's fucked up and you're playing and you guys are about to like transition to another song, it's just like, I don't know, I would be so overwhelmed.
Oh, it's definitely like a background paranoid anxiety, like what, get this fixed.
Yeah.
And like, but you're still trying to like stay cool while like playing your part just so like, I don't know, because that's like concentration in itself, but like your mind's just racing behind like, yo, like what's fucked up and what's happening. Like,
yeah.
I guess like two quick stories. There's I think like this past summer tour we were playing in Orlando, and like as soon as we set up our shit and like it's this tiny ass venue called Back Booth, and like it's a tiny corner stage, like it's a 200 cap room, everyone's all sweaty and gross, so you have to bring your gear through the crowd and like,
oh really?
Yeah, it's just awful, but fun time though. My pedal board, I have like a MIDI controller to where like if I click one button, it'll turn on like 3 different pedals for me versus having to click on 3 at the same time, or like individually.
Yeah.
So that thing just goes out as soon as like we're about to start, and I'm like, shit. So Aaron helps me get my stuff rewired real quick, and like I basically just had to take that out of the equation. So I start, and like basically the whole time like I just had to have like, I couldn't reach my one pedal, so I'd have our merch dude press on and off my phaser pedal for me. So like that was one way to troubleshoot. I was like, I can't do this. Yo, APOM, get over here. I need you to like, I would like look at him and like signal. I'm like, yo, hit it. And like he'd press it for me because I'd have to hit a different pedal, but I couldn't turn that one on at the same time. So like,
jeez,
APOM was my makeshift MIDI control.
That's sick though.
Yeah. So that was like one way to troubleshoot.
Wow.
But, another time, This was like 2 years ago. We're playing like it was like a mini headliner, like down to play like a fest in Texas called South by So What. But like we're going on, and like there's this one part in I Solemnly Swear where like other guitar fades out, and like I click a pedal and I do this riff. It's just like and like I play it by myself, and literally right as soon as I go to click my pedal, I click it and my whole board just shuts off. And I was like, this is like, well, Aaron wasn't with us on that tour, and Jeremy's on the other side, and he still has to play the song. So if like your shit fucks up, like no one stops. Like, everyone just keeps going, and it's up to you just to fix it. So I was just like, what the hell do I do? And I'm just like frantically doing this, and like someone got it on video and stuff. I was like, oh my god, I was like, it was like a meltdown. I was like
super intense,
pretty embarrassed, but like I got it back on somehow. Like I think the power just cut on that one, honestly. But
that's
still, it's just like. Yeah, it was like a test of time. It was like, yo, Aaron's not here, dude. What are you going to do? So I definitely started getting my shit together more since then.
Wow.
Shout out to Aaron and Jeremy for helping me.
Yeah. I didn't even do a What's in the Cup. What's in the cup? Because I technically didn't ask you. I just assumed that since we were recording real early, we would get into some coffee.
Hey, I'm cool with coffee.
This, I'm pretty pumped about this coffee. This is Zeke's, it's called Shadow Blend, and it has like a nice smoky taste to it. But, you know, figure we might as well do What's in the Cup. But anyway, I don't know, the music shit is intense, and I guess like, so in the beginning, whenever you started playing with this band, were you like conscious of like drinking and shit and like smoking or anything before you would go on stage and everything?
Before this band, I never like smoked weed whenever I was in any other bands really. Like this was like, I became like a recent smoker like my early 20s, so I wasn't in bands at that time.
That's a good point.
Yeah, so like I guess I had to become conscious of how like smoking was before playing, but I love it. Like it just puts me in the right fucking zone. Like, I don't know. But I definitely know my limit with it, especially drinking and shit too, because like I'm like when we were in Pittsburgh and shit, I only had like 2 or 3 drinks tops before we play. I was like, yeah, I cannot get sloppy. Like,
because like I feel like you would be able to like vibe off it. Like if you were in hometown, a bunch of people around, people were trying to buy you drinks and everything.
Yeah,
it's probably like some.
It's like the devil sitting on your shoulder, like, yeah, come on, buddy, just have another. And it's like, nah, I can't.
And it's like, do you have, is there fans of Moths that, like, you know, come up and, like, try to give you guys shit and, like, you know, buy you beers and everything like that?
Yeah, sometimes, like, but it all depends. Like, I mean, it's all, like, luck of the draw sometimes because, like, maybe we're playing, you know, in this city and I have to drive tonight. I can't drink, so it's like, all right, well, I have to drive us 6 hours tonight or something. So it's like, you can't buy me a shot, but you can go buy Aaron or whoever else a shot. Like, you know, but
it's a good point.
We're always pretty responsible with that. Like, no one gets too fucked up before we play. Like, I don't know, like Chris doesn't really drink. Greg wouldn't really drink before we play too much. It's usually like me, Aaron, and Jeremy will have a few, but like we know our limit with it.
That's good then.
I'm at the point too where it's like, I take more pride in sounding good live over like being selfish and making myself have a good time or feel good.
For sure.
Know? I can do it afterwards or something. Like,
yeah, that makes sense. Now, whenever you guys are traveling around and going to different places, what are some of like your favorite places that you've been?
Shit, like in general or for playing shows?
Yeah, for like the shows that you've been to, as far as like, you know, like the environment and the crowds and everything like that. Is there any like super surprising places where you were in like somewhere random and you were just like, holy shit?
I have to think on a random spot, but I'd know for sure. This is probably like a cliche answer for people who know, but Chain Reaction at Anaheim, California. Yeah. Hands down, one of the coolest, and best venues. Just the people that go out to that show, they just bring a crazy energy there. It's always wild. Most shows, like 90% of the time, it sells out. So it's like a 400 cap room or something like that.
That's pretty wild.
But yeah, it's just like it's a decent sized room. Like it's dope. I don't know if I've talked about it before with you, but like they have like old T-shirts from bands that play there, like stapled on the walls and shit.
Really?
Like, from all kinds of different eras. So it's just sick to see that. It's kind of just like an iconic place to be. Like,
Yeah.
people love playing there, and the kids pack it out, dude, and they have a good time. People are always like stage diving, moshing. So it gets so hot, and it's just like, I don't know, it's just a crazy energy. You
I bet it
You
is.
can't beat playing there. It's always just a guaranteed good time, and that's why I love playing there.
That's awesome. Plus playing, I mean, like I'm sure a lot of other big name people played there. It's it's probably insane to feel that like, dude, one time on like so and so was on this band, this fucking stage.
Yeah,
it's like you're playing on the same stage as like a lot of fucking other people.
It's cool too. Like, especially if like it's even funnier sometimes because like tours will like kind of follow each other too. It's like, oh, you'll see Stone, like, oh, this band was just here the other day, or like,
Yeah.
oh damn, these guys played here last week. That's pretty cool. So it's nuts that like bands will also like follow each other in that way.
Yeah. Now, whenever you're touring with people, like I'm sure like being in Moths has like brought you to meet some like pretty awesome people that you've probably listened to growing up forever.
Yeah.
Now, what's that like? Like that has to be awesome for you.
It's cool. I'm like sometimes a reserved person, or kind of like, I don't want to say shy, but I just like, I don't know, I don't want to be like that guy.
Yeah, the
ever.
fanboy.
Yeah, I don't want to be that
yeah,
dude.
man. Like I've been listening to you since high school.
Yeah, no,
You wanna
no.
play it
like,
cool?
Yeah, I just like kind of chill. Like I kind of just view it like, oh, I guess I'm like a peer now.
Yeah.
So I just try to view it that way. But like, no, it's very cool to meet those people and like actually get insight from them if we do get the chance to talk and like bullshit and, you know, connect a little bit.
That's definitely awesome.
Even if not, like, it's still cool just to be in that environment and kind of just like observe and just watch, like, oh, like seeing how this band or these people carry themselves or how they run their stuff. It's just like, I don't know, it's just cool to learn that way too and pick up a few things.
Yeah, it would be cool to see like the behind the scenes of like how people really are. Like that's why I like the podcast, because like I like listening to podcasts because like you could hear, I mean, you could tell how people are from like, you know, you could get an assumption how they are from what they play on stage, and like turns out they could be like completely different type of person, just the way they carry themselves outside. And it would be cool to see like the behind the scenes of it all, like what people are really like, what people do like, what people are fans of, and everything.
It's definitely interesting. Like it's cool when you can get to know people a little bit, or just I don't know.
Now, could I ask you about your stint with being a vegan?
Sure.
Now, I'm curious about this. For a while, how long were you a vegan?
Well, I was vegetarian for like a little over 2 years, but I tried going vegan for like maybe 2 months of it.
Yeah. Now, I'm curious because in your experience, I feel like 2 years is definitely long enough to have like a good feel of it, of what that life is like. So you're a vegetarian for 2 years, and now you're back to like you eat meat and everything.
Yeah.
Now, first of all, what made you want to become a vegetarian?
Just weird, like spiritual shit, moral reasons. And then also at the time, like I was trying real hard to lose weight and stuff. So like,
which you lost a fuckload of weight.
Big combo of those reasons. Like, I guess like as for like the weird spiritual stuff or whatever, like my one buddy and I got like super into that kind of stuff. And we're just like reading weird books about just like conscious or this or that. And like one thing that we had heard, I don't know, it was something like something about like before an animal's slaughtered or something, like there's like fear hormones that like are like basically taint its meat or something. It's bad to ingest that. And then there's like studies from like what's that one like vegan documentary on Netflix where it kind of explains how like you can get like colon cancer and shit from meat like that. And it's like the bad health reasons, like shit like that was kind of like part of it. And just being like, all right, like trying to also look at it from the point of view of like morality of like a sustainable earth and doing this and blah blah. But
for
like,
sure.
I tried that whole hippy dippy shit for a minute. It lasted for a minute, and I just kind of like.
Well, that's fine. Yeah. I'm just curious because like you put in time into that. So like, did you feel physically healthier whenever you were a vegetarian?
At a certain point, yeah. I think the problem with it all was I just lost balance with both. I think like I had such a poor diet before of like eating whatever the fuck I wanted. Like
you were fat before.
Yeah, I was.
You're not fat anymore.
At one point, I weighed almost. I think my highest ever was like 263 pounds.
And what are you at now?
I definitely have put on weight since I started eating meat again, but I'd say maybe like under maybe like 190-ish.
Yeah,
give or
like
take.
that's insane, dude.
My lowest though, it's crazy. My lowest ever was like 155.
Yeah,
and I think I was like bad looking then. I think I was kind of like, what the hell is this dude on?
I mean, you probably, well, I think people might have thought that because, like, you know, you lost an insane amount of weight so quick. Because, I mean, you were definitely fat before, but like you're just like a thin man now, and it's wild to see that. So I obviously know that there's benefits of being like a vegetarian.
Yeah,
but like now. You were saying you lost balance of it. As far as like you physically feeling it, like did you feel better?
Yeah, I'll put it this way. So like I was saying, like I ate whatever the fuck I wanted before, and like I think once I did I did some exercise and shit, and like portion controlled before I went veg.
Yeah.
So like I did all that and lost like X amount of weight. Then when I went vegetarian, I saw more results, and like I did start over time. Like I started to feel like a little lighter physically, like not as weighed down or as groggy, and like, but I think just with like not balancing out, like, or not really being too educated on like nutrients or like what to actually eat, I was like a junketarian, so I didn't really, it's not like I was eating healthy salads or doing this or doing that. I was like going to vegan restaurants or vegetarian places or getting like fried foods or whatever, just like being a turd. So it's like I think after so long of doing that, then I started to feel bad again, maybe a little bit more fatigued.
Yeah.
But I think now that I'm back to eating meat again, like it got me to a good spot. But sometimes, like if I eat a hefty meal or like eat a lot, like I feel more dense physically since I eat meat
like
again.
weighed down, like a dirty type of feeling.
Yeah, like, and I think that is one thing I do notice is just like I feel dense again.
Yeah.
And I think that's where it's like, you know, maybe I could be vegetarian 3 days out of the week or 4 days out of the week and then eat meat these days or something. Or just like find some kind of like good shift. Like, I don't know. It's not the lifestyle for me right now. I've tried, but I don't know. I'm not like against it or anything, but I'm not like trying to shove it down anyone's throat.
I absolutely,
I was before.
And that's why I wanted to ask you about it, because like I feel like you definitely like I know you were definitely like you were in it for a while.
Yeah.
So I wanted to get your ideas about it, because like you hear about all this shit, like, you know, and that's the worst part about like it. The worst part about it is people trying to force it onto other people.
Yeah.
You know, that's the only negative part about it. Obviously, there's way more positives, but I was just curious, you know, physically. So, I mean, that makes sense that you would feel a little bit like, you know, lighter and cleaner. But I just wanted to know, and like, what was it like whenever, like, what made you start eating meat again?
So we play this game on tour called What Are the Odds?
Yeah.
Have you heard of it?
No.
All right. So, well, there's a couple. Well, that's the main reason. I'll explain that. But there's a couple other side reasons to factor in. The only other dude in our band that was veg was Aaron, and basically, like maybe like a couple of weeks before I started eating meat again, he started eating meat again too. And yeah, because he was engaged and shit, and like his girl was like, "Yo, like, if I'm making dinner, I'm not going to make you vegetarian shit. I don't eat that. Like, so if you want to eat, you're going to eat what I eat, or you can make your own stuff." So he's just like, I'll do whatever.
Yeah.
So he fell off the train. And then, so I wasn't really feeling it as much anymore. And like I said, I kind of just like stopped caring as much about that stuff. So like, I don't know. It's not my path right now. But, anyways, Chris,
what are the odds?
Yeah. Chris had asked me, he's like, "Yo, what are the odds you get a Chick-fil-A sandwich with me for lunch today?" And I was like, all right, 1 in 10. So for those of you who don't know what are the odds are, it's a number game. So basically you try and get your friend to do something they don't want to do or they typically wouldn't do.
Yeah.
So I could be like, "Yo, Strawberry, what are the odds you pour that candle wax on your fresh tattoo?" And you don't want to do that, so you'd be like, "Shit, 1 to 20.
Yeah.
And then we'd count down, like 1, 2, 3. We both say a number between 1 and 20. If we both say the same number, you have to do it. If we get different numbers, you don't have to. But we added another rule, side story. We added another rule to where, like, if I did get you on that candle wax thing and you didn't want to do it, let's say we landed on the number 4. If you didn't want to do it, you get 4 pink bellies.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
That's a good rule.
Yeah.
So it's like
We've had some bruised bellies on tour, man.
yeah, like if you don't want to do it, like you have to pay the price a little bit.
Yeah.
Man, I've never heard of that game.
It's a great game. We've been playing it for like 2.5 years
And
nonstop.
you just play with random ass shit? Like you just
Anything.
play
Yeah, dude. We'll be walking down the street like multiple times. Me and Chris have done it to each other. Hey, what are the odds you sniff that shoe? Just like a dirty old shoe on the sidewalk, or like we got our one dude. We got him to drink puddle water from a parking lot.
Oh my god. Stagnant water.
Yeah.
Ew. Oh my god.
Oh shit, man. Yeah, we've done some weird ones.
That's so it would have to be, I think maybe I don't know because I've never experienced it, but I think the funnest part about it, like touring and shit like that, would be just like hanging out with your friends and like being able to
It's
fucking
dope.
experience different towns and just like dick around for a little bit. And I mean, like you guys, it just sounds fun. Like, do you guys just go find random shit in different towns? Like, if you got enough time?
Yeah, I mean, like if we have time, and if like the town's actually a town.
Yeah,
You
that's
know,
true.
like it all depends. You know, like because it's like being gone for 40 days. Like people do have like their off days or their like bad days where it's like, I'm kind of moody today. I just want to chill and kind of be left alone. Like,
Yeah.
So we all know how to like vibe with each other in that sense of like, I don't know, like so and so is annoyed today, I'm not going to bother them, or
Yeah.
like even if I don't feel like interacting, like I'll go chill else by myself. But like for the most part, if like I don't know, like me and Greg will go to like a nice brewery in town, get dinner, and like
That's awesome.
drink some beers or something, or like me and Jeremy, like whoever, we'll all just go walk around, like, oh hey, this is up here, let's go walk here, go do this. So like,
Yeah, for sure.
you know, like we'll have time to kill before like loading in. So like go stop at the mall, or like, you know, if people need to buy shit, or go walk around, or I don't know, like if there's something around to do, we'll try and like kill some time.
Does it suck driving in a van with a bunch of dudes?
Kinda.
I bet it would.
I mean, it
would just be gross, I feel.
yeah, it definitely gets gross, but it gets gross.
I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, there's no way about it. You
Yeah,
feel
people
gross.
fart, people snore. I mean, I definitely snore a little bit, but not as bad as others.
Oh, I'm a snorer.
Yeah,
I sound like a fucking like a terrible creature from the abyss. Just like I snore bad, but like, you know, I just feel like it would be a good time to like hang with your dudes and just drive around and shit.
Yeah, it
and
is cool.
Deal with the bullshit together and kind of come out of it together. Now,
exactly. That's the thing we all know. Like, it does suck with like it gets smelly and dirty sometimes, but it's like we're all in it. So
Yeah.
like no one's like complaining like a bitch or anything, or just like we all deal with it. It's just like, well, this is the situation we're in. Like, cool.
Gotta make the best of it.
Yeah, we're gonna get through it.
Now, whenever you guys are off, like, where does everyone, like, you guys live in different places? Chris
Yeah.
and, you said Chris and Greg live in Columbus?
Greg's actually from New Jersey.
Okay.
Yeah.
But now, you guys all live in different places. Like, what's like the schedule whenever you guys are, like, off tour? You just link up whenever people decide and, like, go record
Usually
and
just
shit?
before tour, unless like we have shit to do. Like Chris is the only one who's in Columbus right now. Aaron moved
okay.
to Michigan with his fiance in the last like 6 months or maybe longer. I don't remember. Jeremy lives in Georgia.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
And then Greg lives in New Jersey. So we're all spread out. We all kind of just have our own like different lives, I guess. Like we all
Yeah.
like text and I have like a group chat. We'll like, you know, someone will send a meme to it, or
Oh,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
like, you know, fuck around a little bit. But
That's
we also
cool,
have
though.
like email chains, you know, that we'll like talk about, you know, what we have coming up, and like so we're all in the loop still. But like
Yeah.
it is nice to separate and like have your own space after spending 6 weeks like right next to this person for X amount of time.
Oh, for sure.
But yeah, like me and Jeremy will like FaceTime, like talk about like guitar riffs or like what we're working on, or like yeah, we'll all shoot the shit still, which is cool. And like I'm only 3 hours from Columbus, so like
Yeah, you
you
guys
know, I
can
can go
just
visit
hop
Chris
over
and
there and
chill.
shit.
He comes here sometimes to chill. Like
That's definitely awesome.
Yeah.
Now, whenever you're like coming up with, now this is if you don't want to talk about this, we don't have to. I'm just curious about it. Now, you said that you have more input on writing on the records now. So for a while, you just filled in and you were playing shit that you had no involvement in actually creating. So now you have credited like your shit's credited on the album, like your
Yeah.
name's on it. Now, what is like the difference of like let's say you were never in the band, like something happened and you just weren't in the band anymore. Now, what happens like with the music that you were credited of? Like, do you technically like make money from it still? The people that were helped like involved like creating that?
Yeah. Whenever, especially like that, it's like all released through a label and shit. They're very adamant to get everyone who's like considered a composer. They get everyone's name on it, and like so, like, there's a couple music organizations that like publish music and stuff. So like you have to have accounts with them, and like they'll set. So whenever like Rise or whoever is like submitting our album to like be put out and distributed or whatever, like they've already collected our names. Like we have it like broken into percentages and stuff for like certain things of like, because we give our producer credit, we give like those people get credit on
for
that
sure.
stuff too. So it's like we have to have that broken down to like who gets that. But like if for some reason like I don't know, like if I had to leave and I wasn't on the next album or something, I would still get. It's weird with streaming because it's not sales anymore, but like every so often you'd get some kind of like money for streams
like
or
residuals
for like,
or whatever.
like
Now,
royalties or whatever. But I have yet to see XR. I'm still new, but I think you have to reach a certain
like a gate to get up to that.
Yeah, and plus like at a certain point, like I guess streams and sales still are paying off like initially what gets invested into the record too. So like,
that makes sense.
What's
it like in this like world of streaming? Like is that a negative for an artist, or is that more of a positive?
Honestly, dude, it's hard for me to speak on it just because I've never really been too involved with like physical sales to begin with.
It's a good point,
but
I guess.
Like I don't know, I can see the difference in the sense of like it's definitely a double-edged sword because it's so accessible for people to get music now. Like you can be on Apple Music and you can look up like Moths to Flames and you can see all our shit. You can scroll down and see similar artists, related bands, this and that, and then you can just go into a wormhole from there of like all kinds of music that to look at and see. So
yeah,
I think it definitely connects us a little bit more to see new stuff that's out there or to find stuff that you might not have heard before, which is really cool, especially for like smaller artists or like, you know, younger bands. But also at the same time, I think it makes record cycles a little like it's usually 2 years for like an average record cycle length or whatever before like an artist puts out something new, maybe 3 sometimes. So like I think that having that kind of technology, it makes people want shit more. Like they want new
quicker.
music quicker, and it's like I think people need to realize that like we're human beings. Like it takes time to put this stuff together, and sometimes
for
like
sure.
especially with lyrics, I'd imagine you need life experience to go through.
Yeah, unless
to, like,
you're just
pull that
doing
stuff
dumb
from.
shit and just like
Yeah.
I'm sure some bands are just like piggybacking on like the fact that they're bigger and they
Yeah.
can just come up with whatever and people are gonna like it regardless. Like Kanye West, for instance, he can do whatever the fuck he wants. He can
People are
shit,
gonna buy it. Yeah.
yeah, shit in a bucket and record it, and people will buy it. It's definitely wild. I think that's what it's like in this day and age, though, because like people are always exposed to it, so you have to keep giving them new shit. So,
Yeah.
for instance, like Joe Rogan and Bill Burr were just talking about like the comedy specials and how much of them are being pushed out. Jesus, I can't stop coughing, but like Rogan and Bill Burr were talking about how like, you know, if you go on Netflix, there's countless numbers of comedy specials now, and Bill Burr was saying that like they're not even specials anymore. Like back in the day, it was special to have a comedy special, like, and now there's just hundreds of them on Netflix, and I think it's because like, you know, people just, you need to keep giving them Jesus. You need to keep giving them like new shit to keep consuming to keep their like interest. It's like all of our attention span. I don't know what the fuck is in my throat. All of our attention spans are going way, way down because like we have so much information that's like just being like pushed to us through that phone. Anything we want.
I mean, everyone's stimulated 24/7 because your phone never leaves your hands. You're always looking
Absolutely.
at stuff. You're always looking at new things. Or like Netflix has 1,000 just
Yeah.
Netflix shows besides the stuff that's already on real cable.
Absolutely.
Besides the the difference between
I just
the
watched
specials you're talking about.
a Netflix original last night with Sandra Bullock called Bird Box. It was one of the most insane movies I've ever seen.
Is it good?
Oh my God, it's so good. You should watch it. But like that just came out. But it's nuts because like there's so much different shit like being pumped through our phone. You know, back in the day, you would get a toy for Christmas and you would play with it and you would just keep playing with it and keep playing with it a lot of the time. But like nowadays, it's just like you don't have to keep playing with that toy because there's millions more. You know, it's a hard way to describe it, like to compare it to. But
no, that makes sense though.
You know what I mean? It's like you don't have to invest time and enjoy something because there's so many different things where like you can just give it a second. If you don't like it, you'll jump to something else. I don't know. It kind of makes sense, but in my mind, it might have.
I feel you on that for sure. It's weird.
It is weird. So what's like your next move with all this shit? Like what do you have planned as an individual, and what do you have planned as a band?
Shit. As an individual, I guess I'm just trying to get myself together more. I'm just trying to, I guess, get my personal life more in order. Like being in a band, it's awesome, but I still have bills to pay. I make some money from it, but like I still work a side job when I come home, which is sick. You know, I'm happy to be doing that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I guess I would just like to get more personally, like I guess for jobs, I'd like to get more involved with like music industry jobs. Like I think it'd be sick to work at a venue or to, you know, be a stagehand or just like kind of get my foot in the door there. Because sometimes I feel a little bit disconnected when I'm out on tour for 6 weeks and then I come home and I'm working a job that has no relation to that.
Where are you working?
Right now, I'm doing like general construction and roofing, like
are you?
and stuff with my uncle. Yeah, so I have a job. I've been doing that for the last like 6 months or more, maybe 7, 8.
Do you enjoy it?
It's all right. Yeah, I mean, like it's cool. Like it's cool in the sense of like I'm learning new shit, but I've never been experienced in that kind of work in my life, so that's where it's stressful.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I'm learning, so it's cool to have that kind of skill and like learn some handyman shit.
I hated it whenever I was younger doing this shit with my dad. Like I never wanted to be there and I never wanted to like pay attention and learn.
Yeah.
So like I think if I did all that shit now, I would appreciate it way more.
That's exactly how I've explained it to people. That's exactly what I'll say. Because like I had very few experiences like doing that kind of shit with my dad growing up, just being like the baby, like
and
the
they all
youngest.
probably suck dick because
I
it's
never
just
wanted
like,
to do it. I was like, stupid.
Hey Zach, go get that tool down there, and you're just like, fuck, like let me get in here and
hold
do
the
some
flashlight.
Shit. Yeah,
hold it's like, why don't you explain what you're trying to teach me? So
and
like
that was 100%. Like my dad definitely explained shit, but like I was definitely also like, you know, he listens to all these, so I don't know how I'll feel about it, but I was definitely the hold the flashlight guy for a while. And it's like, you know, whenever you're younger, you don't appreciate it though. So like I can't blame him for not wanting to invest time to show me how to do something that I wasn't going to put my 100% into anyway. Jesus Christ. I don't know. It's wintertime, so I got a cough, but I don't know. I can understand that. I think it would be cool now though to learn and be able. You'll eventually have a house and stuff, so I'm sure you'll benefit
it'll come
from
in
that.
handy one day. Yeah, that's definitely like I'm appreciative to have like especially my uncle being there to like show me. It's like cool bonding time to like chill with him and like see his craft and have him show me that kind of stuff. So I definitely do appreciate it as like an adult. So, but yeah, other than that, like. It's cool doing that, but like I said, I would love to just eventually bridge the gap of like when I come home from tour,
still be working in the music field.
Yeah, exactly. Because I just feel disconnected from that world, and it kind of bums me out. But other than that, man, for personal life, just trying to pay off my credit card and that kind of stuff.
Ain't we all?
Yeah, man, bills, life. I'm just a human like everyone else playing the game. But I got a dog now. So
I know you do have a dog.
Yeah.
So like on tour, you just found this stray dog.
Yeah, we were playing in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, and that place is started with folks who live there, but it's kind of beat that area at least. And for those of you who know 89th Street Collective, and
that's the venue.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just like a room. It's a cool venue. They made it better, but it's just like there's nothing around it.
It's like Subculture.
Yeah, kinda, but a little but nicer than Subculture on the inside. They actually have a bar.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
But so
found a pup.
Yeah, dude. She just like I guess she was hanging out there for a while, but I didn't see her till like a couple, maybe an hour, a little bit before we played or something, and. yeah, I just saw her like walk up. Like we were outside, like hanging out by the trailer, and she just like rolled up. Like someone else from the tour was like walking with her, just like trying to see if like she had an owner or something. Just like rolled up to us and like super friendly. Like I think Jeremy was eating food, and she was like sitting there real nice, just like wanting food. Oh, dude, she was like real skinny and just like pathetic looking, but so happy still, and just real friendly. But before we played, like me and Chris walked, like there's this crappy convenience store next, like a couple of doors down, and they had like one box of this like real shitty off-brand puppy chow. So we got that for her, even though she's not a pup, but that's all they had.
Yeah.
But we went and played our show. She was still hanging out at the trailer and van and stuff. So like a little bit later, like Chris comes up to me. He's like, "Hey, how do you feel about bringing the dog with us?" And I was like, "Dude, I don't care." He's like, "All right, well, she hopped in the van and she's like sleeping under your bench right now." And I was like, "All right, hell yeah." So we just like, we kept her. We took her to the vet the next day.
Oh, really?
In like New Mexico, just to make sure she was like healthy and stuff.
Yeah. They said she was cool.
Yeah, she said she was fine. They gave her rabies shots and all that. And then,
damn, that's awesome.
Yeah, we felt bad because like she's definitely used for breeding because like her underside was just real saggy and just like the vet was saying that she probably just had pups within like that week, and they probably just kicked her out after because they said she's about 3, so she probably just had like so many litters until then. But yeah, we just kept her on tour with us, and like she slept under my bench, and sometimes would like chill with me on my bench, and like would cuddle sometimes. But I started getting attached to her. We weren't sure what we were gonna do. Like Greg and our merch dude APOM like were considering taking her, but their landlord was like, "Yo, no dogs." Like flipped out about it. And, like,
yeah.
So I just like I texted Dave. I was like, "Hey,"
texted your landlord.
Yeah, I was like, "Yeah, you care if I bring a dog?" And he's like, "Nah, bring her." So like, dude, it's history since. I fucking love her. She's the best thing.
How'd you come up with the name Dee Dee?
We all kind of collectively did. Our last album, Dark Divine.
Oh, that's a good point.
Dee Dee, and just like,
oh, that's sick.
Band kind of found her, like she found us, so we kind of just wanted to like.
Definitely a cute dog,
dude. She's the fucking sweetest.
Yeah,
She's been wearing sweaters and stuff.
I know. I think it's the cutest when dogs wear clothes.
Yeah, my brother and his girlfriend took care of her while I was gone for this last tour, so they like spoiled her and bought her all these clothes and stuff. Like, it's sick.
That's awesome, man.
But yeah, so that's what's my agenda for myself personally. For the band though, we'll have some tour plans coming up for 2019.
That's awesome.
We're doing the States in April, and then we have a couple shows in March. We should be hopefully getting figured out soon. And then me and Jeremy have just been writing real hard. We got collectively like 20 songs or more put together to choose from.
Shit.
Yeah, we're just getting mad pre-pro done, and then we're gonna figure out our next move for album number 5. So
that's awesome.
I'm
dude.
very stoked on that. Very stoked.
Yeah, man. So I mean, like it's just going good. Like it seems to be going good. You guys fucking put on a hell of a show.
Hey, thank you. It was happy to play for Pittsburgh. It was sick as fuck.
Yeah, it definitely is. It's still wild to see you up there and to see that like. See the transition of it all from being like fat little Zach that just like hung around to like, killing it up on stage.
Definitely a wild transition.
You're like my example whenever people ask who I talk to on the podcast. It's like I tell people about you, and then I tell people about my brother's friend Jay, who was on here and like he raised bees and he's just a soccer trainer. And then I tell people about the funeral director, because like I feel that those are 3 good examples. Like you're a good example because you're a close friend, and you like I've seen your experience from the beginning of it all to where you're at now. And I feel like I notice shit. I see all the work you put in, and like I see how well things are going, and it's cool, dude. It's refreshing to see. It's motivational for me to do shit like this, because like I mean you just made it happen. You're just up there killing it.
Dude, thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. And now you you technically played Desert Island Questions before.
Yeah,
but fuck it, we'll play it again.
Dude, I would love to change some answers for the fuck of it.
Okay. So the ending segment that I ask everyone, Desert Island Questions, I give people 3 categories, and I give them 3 choices for each category to take with them on a desert island. So first category is things to watch.
Oh, shit. All right. I got 3.
Yep, 3 choices. Anything. Whole seasons, whole series.
Whole
anything.
series of Eastbound and Down.
Oh, that's a good one. If I was rich, I would buy that jet ski with the cheetah print on there.
Dude, that dude is just like, he's just a whole other level of character.
Yeah, absolutely.
Shit, man. TV shows. I've been on a big King of the Hill kick, so I'm going to say King of the Hill.
Oh, I can't do it.
I just love how like redneck it is. Like,
If there was $500 on the table to watch the whole series of King of the Hill, I'd turn it away.
bro, that's what I'm doing right now. It's on Hulu, and I just got Hulu back recently. So
How many seasons?
9. It ran
Keep
from
it.
97 until 2010.
Ugh. It makes me
Yeah.
feel terrible. It's just like the
That's
Simpsons.
why I like it, dude.
Dude, The
It's just so
Simpsons?
trashy.
I have no idea how the Simpsons are still on TV.
Dude, me either.
They're trash. And
It was good back in the day. I think it's lost
There
its
was a
luster.
few good ones, but like I never could get into it. I never could get into them whole like Channel 10 things where it was like, you had like King of the Hill and like the whole like I don't know. I can't do King of the Hill, but all right, take it with you.
All
Take
right,
it with
man.
you. Out of anything in the world, you're fucking taking King of the Hill. But all right.
Shit. Third thing to watch, man. I'm gonna go with that new series from Netflix called Maniac. That was a dope show, and I need to rewatch it. So
I would like to rewatch it again. I thought it was a little bit weird at first. It's definitely weird, but
I love the concept. It's just I don't know. They tie so much weird like sci-fi stuff with like computer intelligence mixed with like weird spiritual like dream wavelength stuff.
yeah.
And plus, I like the imagery of how it's like futuristic but still like 60s and retro.
Yeah, still retro.
Yeah,
it's
very
definitely
strange.
wild. It was definitely interesting. I loved whenever he was going to like the coat store, the fur store, and they were trying to go get that. It was like that was a lemur or something like that.
Oh yeah.
I thought that was so sick.
Dude, yeah, it was cool how they did that. Like,
It's interesting how people's minds come up with some shit like that, because whenever I was first watching it, I was like, what the fuck is this? Because it's hard to understand. I have to rewatch it again because I think the only reason I didn't love it is because I didn't understand it at first, and I'm
you
gonna have to take
sit
some
there
time.
and really just like hone in on it.
Yeah, be
Like,
invested in it
yeah.
rather than like
you
text
can't watch
here and
that
there.
show with people really unless
Oh,
you're both
yeah.
gonna sit there in silence. Like,
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's definitely like I think I got it for the most part, but it's one of those things where I know there's so much detail in it. If you watch it a second time, already kind of
Absolutely.
understanding a little bit, you're gonna be able to find so much more in it.
100%.
So
Absolutely.
I like that kind of shit with shows.
Okay, so you have Eastbound and Down, King of the Hill, and Maniac. That's
Yeah.
an interesting 3.
Yeah, I'm honestly surprised I went there because those are not like.
It's all right, though.
I'm cool with it though. I'm gonna stick with it.
That's all right. Okay, now books. I ask you books all the time.
Shit.
I did ask someone else a different question. I asked them
I haven't
3.
read any new books lately.
No,
Nah.
that's all right though. That's all right. Now, if you could choose, now what could we do besides books that would still be? Okay, here's a good one.
All right.
If you could take 3 beers with you,
Oh fuck yeah.
you get a 6-pack of 3 different beers.
All right. I'm gonna take definitely PBR just because it's classic American beer. You know,
Classic American
can't
beer.
go wrong with it.
Okay.
I love fall beers and shit like that, so I'd probably do like something like pumpkin. I know that's
Yeah.
like cliche white girl beer,
all right.
but dude, it's a good fucking beer for fall.
Yeah. I can't remember what I had with Antoinette. She made me try something, but it was good.
Is it Shipyard? Or
Who
something?
knows, dude? She's
Dude, there's
into all
so
that
many
weird
different
shit. There's literally millions of different, like, I can't keep track of it all.
Dude, me either. I've been on a big sour kick though for beers too, so I'd probably take like Victory Sour Monkey with me, and that's also like 9%. So in for a good time
Jeez.
too.
You
Make
drink
those
6 of
last.
them and just be dumb.
Forget I'm on a desert island.
You build a fire and you just relax, have a good time.
Yep.
Then die. Okay, so those are good. Now, the third category that I give people is CDs or albums to take with you.
All right. I'm definitely going to switch up my answers from last time.
That's all right.
I might have to browse through my Apple
ahead.
Music albums just to. Dude, this is a big question for me. I feel so much
It's always
pressure.
interesting to ask people like that has to do with their field. So like any musicians coming on here or anything, like I like to ask them just because it's interesting to know like what their favorite of some shit was whenever that's like their wheelhouse. I like that comeback hood.
Thanks, man. Their album Outsider is fucking sick. That's their newest one.
I didn't listen to it yet.
Real good shit. Dude, I honestly forget what my answers were from last time. I feel like I might have repeat ones.
That's all right. Go ahead.
Shit. Awesome. Yeah, I'd say the Used self-title. It's a fucking classic. I'm gonna go with Senses Fail the Fire.
Oh,
I know it's an oddball album for them.
it's definitely oddball,
But for me, like that has a great mix of like Still Searching emo stuff, but they have this weird, just like heavy, dark post-hardcore feel to some of the riffs on there.
Yeah,
and it's just like a weird, crazy of like heavy, but still Senses Fail before they like did those couple heavy records. And then I guess my last one, I'm browsing through here real quick. Oh shit! If I want to get probably real depressed, I'm gonna say "Trouble Will Find Me" from The National.
The National. Someone else just that DJ ADMC.
Yeah,
He had he said The National was one of his go-tos as
they're
well.
sick. They're a really good band.
I'm gonna have to listen to them. I never listened to them, I don't think.
Yeah, they have a bunch of albums, but their last two have been my favorites.
All right, I'll check them out. All right, so second to last question is death row meal. So you could eat whatever you want, wherever you want, how much you want.
I love Chinese food. For people
so
that know
good.
me, I fucking love it. And particularly in the city, my go-to spot for Chinese food is in Southside. It is Lynn's Asian Fusion. Hands down, they have the best coconut chicken. So
I love coconut chicken.
Dude, amazing.
I didn't like it at first, but I really do like it.
It's just like, I love General Tso's growing up, but like it has that same feel, but just like a different sauce. So I was like, oh, this is different. I love it. But yeah, that with fried rice. No, I'm going to upcharge. That with lo mein.
Ooh.
A fucking coconut sake tea, wine or whatever.
I never had that.
Yeah, I like it actually. Some of it's bitter, but like if you get a flavored one, it has a pretty decent taste.
I love coconut rice. You ever
never
have
had
that?
coconut rice? No.
Coconut rice. I was at Typhoon and I got Thai crispy chicken, and they asked if you want white or fried rice, and then he was like, or you could upcharge your coconut rice, and I was like, what is that? And he was like, it's real good, just get it. And I ate it, dude, and it's like a sticky white rice, but it's like steamed in coconut milk, so it has like a little sweet aftertaste, and it works so well with like a General Tso's type or something like that.
Might have to try that sometime. I've never been to that restaurant.
It's good. I like it up there a lot, even though it's like a chain restaurant kinda, but their pad thai is like one of my favorites of anything that I've ever tried.
Hell yeah.
Their crispy chicken is good too. Okay, so the last question is, if you could have a conversation with anyone alive or dead, who would it be and why?
Oh man, that's so fucking hard.
I tell people that they're obviously welcome to choose family, but to choose someone that's not a family member, if they would.
You know what? I'm just gonna say Burt McCracken from The Used.
Oh,
That dude was a big inspiration to me growing up. Like I loved that band. So I always just thought that was a cool dude. I would just love to just like hear his take on like his journey through music and just like maybe
for sure.
shoot the shit, ask advice, or
because he always seemed like an interesting dude. Like,
oh yeah, he's a weirdo.
Yeah,
but in
weirdo,
the best
but like
way,
like a
best
good
way.
weirdo.
Yeah,
like, probably the same way. I'm sure. Like, I don't know. I was gonna say kind of the same way Connor Oberst was, but I think Connor Oberst might be. He might be out there. Yeah, he might be.
Actually,
out there.
he'd be a good dude to talk to too.
For sure.
Yeah,
I think about him all the
Eyes.
time.
Yeah,
I think about that, and like that music is like the only music that like I've ever listened to that makes me like want to die, kind of.
Do you like that though, or no?
Yeah.
Same.
Like I feel that Bright Eyes was such like a different type of like mood. Like I don't know, it was hard to explain because I definitely hated it at first because it was so like depressing. But
I know his voice is like hard for some people to.
Well, that's what I started to like more. Is like I started to really appreciate that even more. But I started they've been popping up randomly on radio stations, and I've been playing like like a the Apple Music station. But I enjoy it. Real
yeah.
good. He would be a good person to talk to, though. That's a good.
Get him on here, man. That'd be sick.
Oh yeah, get Bright Eyes. All right. Okay, so yeah, man. Promote anything you want to promote.
Shit. I know last time I was on here, I said Dark Divine. Jam that shit still. If you haven't, you're missing out. We also put out a 3-song acoustic EP this past November to accompany that. It's just like a couple reimagined versions of some songs we did. It's pretty cool. Shit. I don't really have any plugs.
You gotta plug your Instagram.
Oh, yeah. At Pishney.
Fishne or
K-N. Yeah, literally the word fish and then the word knee.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get that Insta. Fender Guitars Rule.
Old Fender.
Yeah.
Fender Guitars.
That's about it.
All right. Well, I'll link everything below. Again, this was a good episode. I had Zach on before, but I wanted him to be the first repeat person. You know, Antoinette's been on here a few times, but she has like a different in than a lot of other people do. But I figured I wanted to have you on because the first episode, you know, I thought it was just trash. You obviously did great. It's just I felt my performance was bad, and I wanted to do this because like this was this is a milestone for me. 50 episodes.
That's sick, man. I'm happy to be back. Thank you for having me as your first and 50th guest. I think that's an honor. Don't trash too hard on the first episode. I actually listened to it back a few days ago just to like prep for this, and I cringed a little bit at myself because I just hate hearing myself talk. I hate my voice, but
everyone does though.
Yeah,
literally everyone that comes on here, they I don't want to hear my voice.
No, it's cool though because it's just like you said, this is a milestone. So if anything, like, dude, that first episode is your marker. That's like that's your first thing you can go back and be like, yo, look how much I progressed. Like,
now,
that's sick.
Since you just listened to that the other day, can you tell a difference?
Oh yeah. This has. I'm going to use a food comparison. So like that first episode was like the basic, just like McChicken from McDonald's.
Yeah.
This is a McGangbang.
Okay.
This has more meat. This has more substance in it. Like the idea was there for the first one.
Yeah.
But this just, you're able to fill in more shit. I think it just flowed a little bit better rather than just like you said before. It's like, I just asked him a question and then asked a question. I think this is just like we talked. This was sick.
This was good, dude. I appreciate it very much.
Nah, dude, back at you.
50 episodes in, I appreciate everyone listening to it. Follow me on Instagram at I'll Call You Right Back, Facebook, YouTube, anywhere else, and send me an email. Let me know who you would like me to talk to. Let me know what you dislike about this podcast. Do whatever else you want to do. Call me a piece of shit if you'd like. But please take a second and please rate and review on iTunes. Rate and review this podcast because that's the only thing that's going to keep this fucking machine well-oiled and trucking. But thanks again, and I'll call you right back.